Hello? Okay, I think everything's working. Welcome back to Crunch Time, guys, the show where you get the best DFS NBA picks for the day, each and every day in under 1 hour. Today we have a nice big 8-game slate, I believe, and as always, joined with Chris, aka chrissair DFS. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. looking forward to this NBA slate. A bit later start time today. We got NHL starting at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. NBA obviously 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. So a little later, but I like when it's staggered. I can get my NHL lineups out first, then focus on NBA for the next 30 minutes. But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully we crush this slate again like we did yesterday.
Yeah, definitely good to have NHL not start at the same time. I'm going to be playing that as well. Good to see everyone in the chat. Hello, welcome. How are you guys doing? Housekeeping, quickly get it through. First thing, if you've been here before, be sure to hit the like button on YouTube. That helps us a lot with people finding our content. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit bell button, hit all so you stay notified. Solid DFS content, free content every day. I think I'll start saying this every time I do that. Chris is like a mid to high stakes cash player, so it's not just like a random YouTube content creator type person. Like, we're not just here to make YouTube content. Like, Chris actually knows his stuff. Obviously, we're here to make this content to help you guys, but Chris obviously knows his stuff, so definitely great free content, lots of value here. Other than that, next thing, we use our optimizer and projections at dfscrunch.com to go through the slate. So if you like what you see throughout the show, you can just go to our site, dfscrunch.com. You can try it out for free for 3 days right now. We have every single main sport, Fanduel, Draftkings, Discord community, all sorts of stuff, so be sure to check that out. Next order of business, wins from last night. There's a lot. Like, this doesn't even cover, like, there's just a lot of posts in the Discord. People kind of post them staggered throughout the night, throughout the day. Like, we got some today in the morning from last night as well. But we have a few here on Twitter that we have. I think Chris sent me 3 more, but there's a lot more in the Discord if you join. Like, you can see it there. You don't have to be a member to see that. Discord link in the bio. First up, as always, Chris loves to put himself first for good reason, obviously. But yeah, what do you want to say about this lineup yesterday, Chris? Obviously, you have NHL here as well.
Yeah, so this is obviously my cash lineup for both sports. Still testing out NHL, just sort of feeling it out. So I'm not playing as much there, obviously, but still got some decent results here in NBA. Pretty chalky lineup here. I think the only pivot that I was deciding between was Tate versus Miles Bridges. We got news that Bridges wasn't starting, so that updated before either of those games locked. So I got Tate in there. Ended up putting 335. Everyone else here is obviously part of my core. Hero didn't perform well, but I think everyone else here was solid, so that was pretty nice. This NHL lineup, I'm going to be honest, this was just the optimal. But we had Edmonton power play 1 with McDavid and Draisaitl, obviously, so that was really good. And yeah, some other solid pieces obviously got the win with Talbot in net. So yeah, that was good. Hopefully we do it again today.
Yeah. I think you were close to some takedowns yesterday. Like, I saw you up there in the first page on the NHL GPP.
Yeah, so we can just jump into that. I linked you the contest. We can just take a look at that before we look at the rest of the results, maybe.
Yeah, let's do that quickly.
Yeah, so I was definitely live here. I was higher, like third, fourth, earlier. Then I jumped down a little bit, but the main thing I needed here, if you can scroll down so we could see the lineup.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so the main thing I needed here was I needed the Calgary stack here with Tkachuk, Lindholm, and Giordano to score in OT. Obviously, they lost in OT. They got really close. It was like Tkachuk to Lindholm in OT. Got a good opportunity. So if I got that goal, I would have shifted this whole thing. Obviously, the first place team was 20 ahead of me. If I got a goal and assist from those two guys, obviously no one ahead of me had them, so I would have had 300. Would have been first. But I mean, I'll do it again today. I'll try my luck. I love stacking in NHL. Obviously, this was an Edmonton power play 1 stack with 2 from Calgary, 2 forwards, obviously, and then solo Hurdle here just because I thought he was too cheap in the util. Yeah, and then defenseman, obviously, I just fill it out last, see what the optimizer gives me, and same thing for goalie, really.
Yeah, I'll say this for anyone. I know this is a NBA crunch time show here, but for anyone who loves playing DFS, if you know a bit about hockey and you want to get into it, like, you can just join. You can join our community You can get into the Discord. You can ask Chris questions, ask me questions, ask the other guys questions, and you can literally start playing hockey like just with part-time DFS, part-time hockey knowledge, and get some good results there. So
you definitely don't need hockey knowledge to play hockey. If you have DFS knowledge, like it's very similar to MLB. It's all about stacking. You need no knowledge about the actual sport. If you like watching, like if you enjoy slightly watching, it's a really good sweat with the DFS just because your main guys here, they play like 20 minutes a night. They're on the power play, so you get the good guys to cheer for. So it's definitely a fun sweat.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Even if you're not super familiar with hockey, you can still get good results here with us. We'll help you out as well. So yeah. Is there any YouTube chat we should go over here? NAW highlight package, step back on Kawhi. There's a lot of YouTube chat, Chris.
Yeah, so we got Brent. What's up, Brent? Good to see you here. He says, afternoon, let's crush tonight. Last night was solid. Wish I pivoted from McLemore to Brown or Tate. Those were fire. Yeah, I mean, got pretty unlucky with McLemore. Like, usually he's good for a bunch of shots. His shots weren't falling, so he ended up playing like 20, 21 minutes. I was glad I was on Tate. He was starting, obviously, so I had to be on him. He kind of went into James Harden light mode, like pretty close to a triple-double, so I like Tate a lot. And then Brown, obviously, if we pivoted from McLemore to Brown, would have had an even bigger night.
Yep, love to see it. Hasty saying DFS Crunch is a license to print free money. As close as you can get, I'd say. Trigger likes that one. Rondo saying Calgary Canucks let you down. I think the Canucks, a bunch of Canuck players went to Calgary, right?
Yeah, Calgary signed a bunch of UFAs from the Canucks.
Yep. Okay, next success we have here, that dude _7. He recently changed his profile picture to an Arthur character. That's always good to see. I don't know his name off the top of my head, the character there, but yeah, what do you have to say about this win here, Chris?
I mean, this guy is crazy. Like he plays the biggest contests, just like one every week. So he always tries to take something down, take some big money down. But yeah, I think he played the optimal here. He said it in the chat. But yeah, it's nice to see that he got fourth out of 100 here.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see like people starting to play higher stakes with us. So I love to see it. That's always exciting. Next up here we have I'm Snow, longtime member, really longtime member actually. Shout out to him, playing some hockey. What do you see here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I love this guy. This guy's been with us for a long time. Super nice guy. Yeah, but obviously here 9 to 50, put up 230. Pretty nice team here. He had Dougie Hamilton at D, who didn't do too well, but other than that, really solid construction here. I think this was something near the optimal. I think it was just Hoglander instead of Johnson or something, and then yeah. So, but yeah, really nice score from something near the optimal here.
Yeah, love to see the results. Part-time DFS, full-time results. Love it. You don't have to read articles all day here with us. You can just join the Discord, watch our show, use our optimizer, use our projections, get solid results that way. I think he sent me a few other ones that didn't make the Twitter cut.
Yeah, so you could open those, and I gotta respond to Henry here. He says, "Fade Chetty, bad shock." I mean, I'm just wondering how this show went from like a Chetty, like everyone loves Chetty on the show, to everyone hating Chetty. But yeah, I mean, I like Chetty today. I like his price tag over on Fanduel. He's probably going to be one of my locks, even though you guys probably hate to hear that.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
We got Trigger saying 30 likes and Chris does a TikTok dance. I mean, I won't do it live, but I'm down to make a TikTok dance if we get 30 likes.
We'll get a DFS Crunch TikTok account set up. We'll get Chris on there going viral with some TikTok dances. We can get that done at 30.
I need my own account. I'm going viral on my own.
I'd be careful. He might switch from DFS. He'll go full-time TikTok. So you gotta be careful there. Here's one from Discord that you sent me. There's a bunch in Discord as well, but we'll just go over, I think, this one and then two more. What do you see here, Chris?
I mean, this is Trigger. He just posted it, I think, like 5 minutes ago. So I wanted to get it in. Yeah, just obviously his cash game lineup won here. So yeah, you do love to see it.
Yeah. Hasty back with the hair comments. If you guys don't know, if you're new here, Hasty, substitute teacher. So he sees a lot of hair. He knows his hair. He knows what's in. He knows what's out. So he's saying Chris has the hair for TikTok. So hard to disagree with Hasty with that experience under his belt there. So yeah. Next one we have Turn and Burn. Shout out to Turn and Burn. Always crushing as well. What do you see here, Chris? What do you want to say about this one?
Yeah, Turn and Burn's always printing. We don't have to go into it too much, but just always printing. That's all you need to know.
Always printing, yeah. One more here. I think Weaver. Shout out to Weaver. Recent member, very active. Solid member. Has good. I guess he points things out that we need to fix. So I like that. Like I don't mind that at all. So definitely some things we need to fix. But he's solid. Like he's playing consistently every day. I love to see that. Like he's learning like the ins and outs of everything we have to offer. So shout out to Weaver for doing all that stuff. What do you see here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, so he plays the piggy bank, the 5 cent entry. So if you max it, that's $7.50. At the top, you can see he won $22. So that's like 3x ROI, a little over 3x. So yeah, you do love to see it. He got 12th place. So pretty close to taking it down even. But yeah, he's super solid guy, super stand-up guy. Like I really enjoy having him in the Discord.
Yep. I agree. Justin in YouTube saying, do you post an optimal GPP play before lock behind the paywall, or do you just use whatever optimizer scores highest? I subbed last week. I guess you can touch up on that, Chris.
I mean, I'm not sure what you exactly mean by optimal GPP play, but for our cores for cash games, I do post that in the Discord like 30-20 minutes before lock. As for GPP play, I do give a lockout. They've actually been crushing like this entire week. I think I had LaMelo on Fanduel. He got like 52. Chris Boucher was my GPP lock on DK. He obviously got like 50 as well. So yeah, if you're using those locks that I give out, like they've been performing really well ever since we started that segment of the show. It's actually surprising how well they've been hitting.
Yeah. Yeah, with you on that. We don't post any like full lineups. We're not allowed to do that. Like you got to be compliant with Draftkings and Fanduel, so we don't do that. But we do share like our favorite plays. If you have questions about like some comparisons or roster construction, all that, we'll answer that in the Discord. Yeah, finally someone said it. Turner saying Boucher was a lock. Definitely a lock. Like he's solid. Like if he gets 30 plus minutes, like that price tag's too cheap for him. I love him. Like I think he'll have a great year this year. Hopefully they play Len less, not at all, and Baines less, and just give Boucher more of a run. So I'd love to see that. Like he's really solid. Like honestly, like yesterday he could have got like 56 or something if he got like 2 or 3 more blocks. He can always do that. So love to see it. He's playing really well.
So Justin says, how do I get a link to the Discord? I just posted it in the chat. After you do this, you should have gotten an email with your verification code, but you can DM Garry. He'll get it for you once you join the Discord. If you go to the channel, start here. You can go to the support section where you can open a ticket, or you can just directly DM Garry and he'll help you out with the premium access. Yeah, just join there and we'll sort that out for you. I think we can jump right into the slate. All the housekeeping is out of the way. Big major slate overview from you, Chris. What do you have to say about today's 8-game slate? All these teams playing here. What's the big overview here? So the big overview is we got decent games. We don't have any games that really stand out like that we're gonna stack. We have like 6 games in the 225 over under range. So we're gonna have interest in all of those. We have a sub 200 over under. It's at 197. I mean, you never see that. Haven't seen that since like probably 2016. Honestly, that's super low. It's the Knicks Cavs game, so don't expect too many high fantasy scoring players there. But I think we'll have some good one-offs that could be interesting. And then yeah, it's just we got a pretty good slate with decent games all around. So like I said, not too much stands out in terms of a team that's gonna that's gonna just like provide all the value or provide all the studs.
All right, let's jump right into it. First game, the one you just mentioned, Knicks against the Cavs. We have on the Knicks side, we have Frank Ntilikina out for them. Burks doubtful, Bullock probable. Starters right now, we have Peyton Barrett, Bullock, Randall, and Mitch Robinson. Randall's been crushing it all year. I think back-to-back second half today, correct? Or is it? No,
it's not.
No. But, yeah, he's been looking really good this year. I think they have like Obi Toppin back in, but I don't think he played that much last game. So, yeah, what do you think of the Knicks today and Randall? Any interest there?
So, like I said, this is the super low over under 197. Like we never see that in the NBA these days. But it's two teams that are pretty slow paced, struggle to score. The Cavs are really good defensively, actually, surprisingly. So yeah, that goes into the low total there. As for Randall, yeah, he's the main guy on the Knicks side. I mean, like, I don't really want to touch anyone else here. We know Julius Randle has his role carved out, plays a ton of minutes. Like, he does it all for the Knicks. So I do like Julius Randle. He's probably a lock for me in DK cash. That 9.1 price tag really fits the build today. As for Fanduel, I'm not as interested in him for 9.1k just because we have other power forwards that I prefer over him. But I mean, if you want to go there as one of your last pieces in cash games, don't mind that. And obviously he has a lot of upside in tournaments as well. So he's probably the only guy that I really have interest in from the Knicks here.
Okay, let's get into Cleveland. Let's get into Chetty, Osman. Cleveland right now, we have Porter injured for them, Drummond probable, Garland, Sexton, Windler, Matthew Dellavedova all out for them. Jarrett Allen, I'm not sure when he's going to start, probably still traveling, packing his bags. Starters for them, we have Dotson, Okoro, Osman, Nance, and Drummond. Any interest in Cleveland at all? I know Chetty, other than Chetty, any interest here?
Yeah, so Drummond had the Achilles injury. I think he's in now. Maybe he's probable still, but he missed the last game, obviously. So if you're concerned about that, I'm probably not too concerned. But if you are,
I'll comment on that. I saw him last game. Like, he was watching the game. He was wearing like some like indoor, what are they called? Like flip-flops, indoor shoes, like the soft ones.
Slides.
Yeah, slide, but not even like the outdoor slides, like the indoor fluffy slides. Like he was really comfy. Like he looked fine. Like I think he'll play today.
Maybe they were holding him out, like because they had the big trade. Maybe he could have been part of it, so they were holding him out. Maybe, but yeah, I don't have concerns with him. But at the same time, I have no interest in him. As I said, it's a 197 over under, so crazy low. You can get him low owned, which will do the trick in tournaments. But I mean, I've no interest in my cash games. So he's tournament only. The main guy here is on FanDuel. It's Chetty Osman, 5.1k. Just way too cheap for Chetty. Even in this low total game, he should play at least 34, 36 minutes. He should shoot around 15 times. Pretty good rebound and assist rate. Obviously, always has some steal and block upside as well. So I'm good with Chetty in my cash games at 5.1k. Don't mind him in tournaments either. But on Draftkings, I don't really have any interest. He's 6.2k, so just a big price difference there. So yeah, all my interest comes on FanDuel for Chetty.
About what's his face? Jarrett Allen. What are the odds of him playing? Like, is he like completely ruled out today, or is it still questionable? Like, he might play. We had a question in the YouTube about that.
So I don't think he's in. Like, I think they have to test negative for a few days in a row before they can join the team. And then they have to go through their physical with the team. So I'm not sure if the trade is officially gone through yet, just because everyone has to pass their physical. So yeah, he's not in today. So no interest in him, or no reason to talk about him.
Yeah, Henry doesn't like that 197 total there. Thomas saying Dotson. Shout out to Thomas, actually. Like, I know he loves the Korean footwear. It's really popular in the house at home. Like, I know he wears the same thing that we saw. What's his face? Drummond
he's
wearing
saying moccasins, but I don't think they're moccasins. I think you're talking about something else.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I'm pretty sure Thomas has a pair of these at home.
You can Google moccasins, see if that's what you saw. It's Moccasins.
Wait, what? Moccasins?
ASINS. Yeah. Yeah. Just go to those images.
No. It was like a $5 like dollar store like soft.
Maybe you could search fluffy slippers.
I think I sent this in the Discord. Yeah, it was kind of like this. Like, it was like this. Like, he was wearing this with his Achilles out on the bench. So he was totally fine. Like, I'm not concerned. I'm pretty sure if you were hurt, you wouldn't be wearing that walking around. So I think he'll play. Korean slippers. That's what Thomas is calling them. Yeah. Hasty got it right. It's like the hotel slippers. It's not these. Like it's like the soft, cheap hotel ones. But yeah, enough slipper talk. I think for today we can have a segment tomorrow again for that. Korean house slippers. Yeah, probably that one. Let's go into the next game. Next game we have what is it? We have Orlando.
Mighty Mole says, hopefully a hot Korean babe is in them.
All right, Mighty Mole. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like this, like that. He was wearing something like that. Yeah, I don't know how we always deviate from like DFS to like hair to just like strictly chatty talk to slippers. It's definitely enough of that from Thomas. I'm with you there.
Let's get it moving.
Let's go into the next one. Boston, Orlando. Can go over Orlando first. I think there's a few injuries there. Michael Carter-Williams, Bamba, Fournier, Okiki out for them. Starters, we have Cole Anthony, Bacon, Ennis, Gordon, and Vucevic. Yeah, obviously Fultz is out of the team now. He had that injury a few games back. I think we had some... I personally thought Cole Anthony would kind of do a bit better with more minutes in his new role, but I think we're kind of seeing him as a fantasy player. I think he's hovering around that like 5K range. Any interest in the Magic, and what do you think of Cole Anthony?
Yeah, so I mean, I really like Cole Anthony today. Actually, his price tag is still 4.5K on Fanduel. He should see probably 28 to 32 minutes. He only saw 23 last game. It was a little bit of a tough matchup going up against Drew. He was guarding him tightly. I think they actually missed the block that he had, so he would have been up a little more. But yeah, this price tag really stands out for me in cash games. Like on FanDuel, we're kind of starved for value. So our value comes like with these guys in the mid 4K range. So I'm really good with Cole Anthony in my cash games at point guard on FanDuel. For Draftkings, I don't really have much interest in him. Like, we don't need it. We have other value that we can go to instead. He's 5.5K, so pretty big price difference there. The only guy that I have interest in on Orlando in cash games on Draftkings is Vucevic. He's 9K. So that's a really good price tag for him. He always seems to get like 45 to 50 fantasy points, so always solid, always has a high usage rate. He's been shooting 25 times per game. So that's been pretty good. So I don't mind him if you want to go there in DK Cash. If you want to play him in tournaments on either site, don't mind that either. And then last guy I'll touch on here is Aaron Gordon. He's finally off that minutes restriction, 6.5K over on FanDuel. It's just a really good price tag for him. So yeah, I really like Gordon over on FanDuel in my cash games. 7.3K on DraftKings is a little too high for me. You can go there in tournaments. He was pretty close to a triple-double last game, so I mean, he has the upside when he plays the minutes. So I do like him. But yeah, more of a cash gameplay for me. And then last guy that you can take a shot on in tournaments is probably Terrence Ross. Like, he's looked really bad in this last couple of games. People will likely be off of him, but they're still missing a ton of guys. Like, the situation is right. I like buying into guys when they've had a few bad games in a row. You'll get them low owned. They obviously still have the ceiling if their shot starts falling. So I do like Terrence Ross a lot in tournaments. Yeah,
Ross is a very streaky shooter. So if he starts off hot, like he can always get to that upside, 20, 25, 30 points even.
Yeah, real life points.
Yeah, real life points.
Like 40 fantasy points, 45 fantasy points.
Yeah. Mighty Mole off of the Korean Slipper Talk. He's saying Bogdanovich 4-3 on Fanduel.
Yeah, so that's obviously Bojan Bogdanovich on Utah. The Atlanta one is out with the knee injury. So yeah, that price tag is fine. We're going to talk about someone in the next game who I do like a little more at power forward, Tristan Thompson. He's 4.4K. But I definitely have no issues with Bogdanovich.
Yep. Let's go over the Boston news here. Kemba Walker out, Tatum out with COVID. Who else? Carson Edwards and Robert Williams also out for them. And Tristan Thompson, Grant Williams both marked as probable. Starters, we have Smart, Brown, Ojale, Tice, and Thompson. Hasty already brought up Pritchard. He's saying Pritchard over Cole. Trigger follows up with the comment, biggest gun in the league on Pritchard. What do you think of the Celtics? You mentioned Tristan Thompson. I guess you have to touch up on Pritchard. He's a fan favorite around here. Yeah.
So I don't have too much interest in Pritchard. Like, he's priced more than Cole Anthony. 5.2K on FanDuel. What's his price on DK? I think it's
4.7.
I think it's around the same. Yeah, 4.7. I mean, I don't see any upside there, so definitely no interest in Pritchard for me personally in both formats. The main guy here is Jaylen Brown. He's a lock for me on both sites. Obviously, Tatum is out. Jaylen Brown gets this huge usage bump. He's just going to play a ton of minutes. 9K on FanDuel, 8.9 on DK, so that really works for me. So yeah, I love him in both formats, both sites. He's a lock for me. Next guy, I mentioned him when I think Mighty Mole asked that question. Tristan Thompson is 4-4 on FanDuel. At a pretty thin power forward position. Like, if you want to go to Bogdanovich or 100 less, I don't hate it, but I do like Tristan Thompson a lot here. He should see probably at least 28 minutes. Maybe 26 is more accurate, but I mean, like, he's always a double threat. He can get a few blocks, so I do like that price tag. I think it's a little low, especially with Tatum out. Robert Williams is out. So yeah, that Robert Williams thing helps Tristan Thompson a lot. And then another guy I'll touch on specific to DraftKings is Javonte Green. He's 3.2K, so 200 over the minimum. He should see probably 22 minutes if I had to guess. He's a decent fantasy point per minute guy. So yeah, I do like that. Definitely more of a last piece in DraftKings, but if you want to go there, I don't mind it. And then, one more guy I'll mention is Marcus Smart. Obviously, Tatum is out, so Marcus Smart will jump into that secondary usage role here. 6.2K on FanDuel. Definitely don't mind that if you want to go there. Don't mind it in cash games. Don't mind it in tournaments either. I do think he could have a ceiling game here. 7.6 on DraftKings for Marcus Smart, so no interest there. But yeah, on FanDuel, I don't mind him.
Yeah. Trigger was actually referring to T. Ross, not Pritchard. T. Ross is the biggest gun in the league. What do you have to say about that one, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the human flamethrower or something, human torch. I think that's his nickname. But yeah, well, if he hits a few, if he sees a few go through the bucket, like the basket just opens up. It's like he's throwing the ball into the ocean.
Comment about Tice saying that he's playing today from Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tice is playing. Doesn't really add any concern for Tristan Thompson. Like, they've played together. They played together on the court. So yeah, I'm still good with Thompson.
Yeah, Thomas saying T. Ross is Mignor. What do you think of that, Chris? A little harsh? Any reason why Thomas might be saying that? I guess he's a former Raptor. That could be one reason I could see for Thomas to say that.
That's what I was going to say.
Pardon?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Former Raptor.
Yeah. Hasty saying Clarkson or NAW over Ross for biggest gun.
I mean, yeah, we got a few gunners in the league for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we just got news that Horford is out today, personal reasons. Not sure if that was known before, Chris. Was that big?
No, it wasn't known before. He missed the last game. I'll have to check out what Roby's price is now. Obviously, Roby started last game for Horford. But yeah, we'll get into that once we get to that game.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good price. I like playing Roby. Okay, next up we have the Dallas-Milwaukee game. We can go over Dallas news first. Over here we have Brunson, Finney-Smith, Richardson out, Porzingis probable, Powell and Maxi Kleber out as well. Starters right now we have Doncic, Hardaway Jr., Iwundu, Porzingis, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Any interest in the Mavs today, Chris?
I mean, probably tournament only. The only guy I have interest in is Luka here. It's obviously a really tough matchup against the Bucks, so I don't have interest in him in my cash games. But I mean, if you want to go there in tournaments, I don't mind it. Like, you could have a huge Luka game here. Maybe he plays a little more minutes. I'm just checking if it's a national TV game. It probably is, just because the league loves Luka and Giannis. Yeah, it's on ESPN. So you get the national TV game. I always like those. So yeah, I've interest in Luka in tournaments, but probably no interest in cash games, just because we don't really have the value to pay up for him on either site. That probably does it for me. Like, maybe Boban if you want to play him for 3-4 on DraftKings. I don't mind that as a last piece. In cash games on DK, like, he's always a solid fantasy point per minute guy. He'll probably play around 15 minutes. He can get you 20. But yeah, he's definitely more of a last piece guy. They're missing. I mean, the only reason I say Boban is because they're missing Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. But yeah, if he plays more than 15 minutes, he could break a slate. But if he plays 15 minutes, he's probably safe for his price tag.
Yep. Shout out to DFS Crunch team. Projections update in the background. As you can see here, we got like the Horford news. Horford already marked as out. So definitely easy to follow along here. If you remember, like, you don't really have to scour the internet for all this news. You can. It helps you can if you want, but you don't have to. Totally an option here, not required. Trigger's saying Luka the Don. Drew always guards Luka. Hasty's saying Milwaukee is going to fill the paint on D. And Trigger says Giannis and Luka are a fortune on Fanduel.
Yeah, that's why I was saying tournament only for me. Yeah.
Ross in the chat's asking if we talked the Celtics yet. We have. If you have any questions about the Celtics, we can answer those as well if you missed that, or you can probably scroll back as well if you want.
You could scroll back, or I could go through it quickly. Like, Jaylen Brown, he's a lock for me on both sides, both formats. Javonte Green in DK Cash, if you want to play him as a last piece, I don't mind that. And then on FanDuel, Tristan Thompson, if you want to play him in cash as a last piece, I don't mind that either.
Yep. Okay, Milwaukee, we have Drew Holiday probable and Torrey Craig marked back in. Starters, we have Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brolo. Any interest on Milwaukee here?
I mean, no, not really. Like, the only time I would play him, Giannis, here is in tournaments. If I'm playing him in tournaments, I would run it back with Luka, just get completely different construction from the rest of the field. If this game stays close, if this game shoots out, it's gonna be because of Giannis and Luka. So I don't hate that angle, but other than that, yeah, I have nothing here.
Real talk, when is Luka going to dunk from Thomas? Hasty says when he loses 10 pounds. What do you have to say about that one, Chris?
Luka's been dunking a few times this year. Like, I think he's averaging at least one a game.
Maybe we can pull one up if you have one. I can load up the next game here. Next up, we have Chicago against the Thunder. Let me just load it up here. Okay, we can go over, let's do Chicago first. Lowry Markkanen back in, marked as in. Satoransky out. Archidiakono probable. Dotson out for them. Porter probable. Hutchinson out. Temple questionable. And Luke Cornett is also out for them. Right now, the starters we have projected: Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Williams, Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. Any interest in Chicago today, Chris?
So I have interest in one guy in my cash games. It's Kobe White on Fanduel. He's 6.4K, so really good price tag there. We project him for 34 Fanduel points, so that's good. Really good price tag. On DraftKings, he's 7.4, so I have no interest in him there. But yeah, other than Kobe White on point guard on Fanduel, everyone else here is tournament only for me. Zach LaVine, you can go there. He's 9K on Fanduel, I believe. I think he's 9.5 on DK, so you're paying up a lot, but obviously he has a pretty good ceiling. The downside here is that the Thunder play pretty slow. The over-under is 225, so it's definitely not a bad one, but I never really like targeting players against the Thunder unless we're getting like price discounts or stuff like that, injuries. But yeah, Markkanen is back today. That hurts LaVine a bit. That hurts Carter. Hurts Otto Porter, someone who we had a lot of interest in earlier on this season. Patrick Williams, like he's 4.4K on FanDuel, 5K on DK, so I don't want to touch him. So yeah, all my interest here comes from Kobe White on FanDuel in my cash games, and then LaVine in tournaments if you want to do that on either site.
Yep. I'll go over the Thunder quickly, and then there's already some questions from Hasty in the chat. Injuries news over there. We have obviously Horford. We have him out now, personal reasons. Baisley questionable, and Ty Jerome out for them. Starters, we have SGA, Hill, Dort, Baisley, and I'm guessing it's going to be Roby. You'd probably know better than... You might know if it's not Roby, Chris. I don't know who you think it's going to be. Question from Hasty, quickly. Hamidou Diallo, nice on a slim day at small forward. I think that's a DraftKings question. Only small forward over there.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't think we need it. Like, just... if we're paying down, like we have guys like, I don't know, like we don't really want to land in this 4.9K range on DK. Definitely not on FanDuel. Like we have Jordan Clarkson for a little bit more than Hamidou Diallo at shooting guard. We have Marcus Smart. We have D'Lo if you spend up. We have Paul George, of course. So I have no interest in Diallo today. He's definitely tournament only.
He's probably watching the game logs here, seeing that big performance those 2 nights in New York.
I mean, Hasty knows that those happened in New York City, and then Brooklyn, of course. We know he plays big in those hometown games, but I mean, in all seriousness, no, I have no interest in Hamidou Diallo. My main interest here comes from SGA. He's 7.7K over on DraftKings, so that's looking like a lock for me in my cash games. They got blown out last game. He only played 27 minutes. So if you're looking at the game log with him, that's why it's so down. Obviously Horford is out now, so Roby is the big guy that steps up. He's 3.7 over on DraftKings. He's a little more on
4.2.
FanDuel. He's 4.2K. So I mean, we'll have to see when the projections update to see how they change for that, but I think he's going to be a pretty good cash game option on a slate where we don't have great value, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But I probably do have interest in Roby in my cash games, good with him in tournaments as well. And then someone else I'll talk about here, Baisley, he's obviously questionable. I think he had the ankle sprain last game, so if he's out, we'll bump up guys like Pokashevsky, even Diallo for Hasty, Dort, and probably more interest in Roby even if Baisley is out. If Baisley's in, like I don't mind playing him today. He's 6.4, I believe, on FanDuel, 5.7 on DK, so the DK price is definitely better, but he's obviously tournament only as well. I would never play him in cash games for this price tag. Yeah, that pretty much does it. Like George Hill, I don't really see a ceiling with him, so no interest in tournaments, but if you want to play him in cash games as one of your last pieces, I don't mind that.
Yeah, about Roby last game, I think he got pulled out in the last like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Maybe you can pull up the popcorn machine, Chris, but it wasn't a close game against the Lakers, I believe.
Yeah, so like I said, they got blown out by 30.
Yeah.
He obviously started that game, so maybe they didn't want to give him all the blowout run just because he started.
Yeah, they had some other guys they wanted to run there. I think if the game was, like if this game's going to be closer, which it's projected to be closer, he should get more of a run. So I definitely, even with the slight bump up, I think the bump up in price is more on DraftKings. Definitely still interested myself in tournaments. I'm not sure.
He's only 3.7 on Draftkings, so on a slate, like I said when I went over him, on a slate where we're starved for value, he makes sense. I actually sent you the popcorn machine, so we could take a look at that. Quickly, we can see that once you open it, I can go over it, I guess. Yeah, so it's at the bottom here. Yeah, if you could scroll down a bit just so we could see it. Yeah, so obviously you could see he was running with the starters here. The blue bar, that's when he's in. Where it's yellow, that's where he's obviously out. So if you can just move that thing, yeah, if you could just leave it like this. We could see that he was replaced by Muscala. He was basically playing every minute that Muscala didn't play. So when Roby came out, Muscala came in, and then obviously Muscala came out in that second quarter. Roby came back in. So yeah, he was playing with the starters. When it blew out, he didn't get run. He was actually the only starter there that got the fourth quarter run. He played like 4 or 5 minutes there. But yeah, I'm good with Roby, like especially if he starts, which we're probably projecting right now. I definitely don't mind him for value on this slate today.
Yeah, do you know who he was guarding? Was he guarding AD?
No, I didn't watch the game, but I mean, he was probably guarding Gasol, and then yeah, he was probably guarding Gasol. Probably Baisley was on AD, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't watching, but that's what I assume.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into the next game. While I do that, maybe you can see if there's any comments in the chat. Just load it up here.
We just got Roby season. Yeah, I'm with that. I like Roby season.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Memphis against Minnesota. We can do Memphis first. Killian Tilly out. Ja Morant questionable. Is that an upgrade to questionable for him, Chris?
Yeah, Ja Morant is questionable today. Obviously, he had the ankle injury that was supposed to keep him out for 3 to 5 weeks. I think he's somewhere around the 2 to 3 week mark right now. So yeah, it's good to see him back.
Yeah, good to see.
We're almost back.
Good to see that. Porter and Winslow and Jackson Jr. all out still for Memphis. Starters for them, we actually have Morant projected to start, Brooks, Anderson, Clark, and Joval. Do you think Morant's actually going to start today? Is he going to play limited minutes? If he does, yeah, what do you think? What do you think of the Grizzlies?
So they have the really good matchup here against the Timberwolves. Obviously, the Timberwolves are probably my favorite team to target this season in DFS. So I do have interest in the Grizzlies here. We'll have to see if Morant is on a minutes restriction. I assume he would be if he's in. I think he's probably 50-50 to play today. I don't have any interest in him in DFS today, just because, like, we don't know with his minutes if he's in. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to take some tournament shots, it's the best matchup you can get. So you'll probably have him at like 1% owned if he does play. So I mean, I guess I'm fine with that.
But even if he does play, it's still limited minutes, right? Most likely.
We don't know yet. So, like, if we don't get word, then he's probably going to be 1% owned. If we get word that he's limited, then I don't know. I don't have any interest really. Yeah. So my main guy here. What?
Just coughing here.
Oh yeah, you know, there's a mute button if you want to use that.
Next time.
Hopefully you're okay.
I think I'm good now.
Yeah, so we have my main interest here comes from Brandon Clark. He's 5.6K on FanDuel. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, power forward is kind of thin today. Against the Timberwolves here, I have no problems paying 5.6K for Brandon Clark in my cash games. I think he had a really good game last time out. He put up 40 fantasy points, played 34 minutes. So that's nice to see that he's trending in that direction. Joval, he had a huge game last time against the Wolves as well. He put up 50 fantasy points. So if you want to play him in tournaments, I don't have any problems with that. If you want to play him in cash games, he's more of a last piece. But I mean, I probably don't have any problems with that either in cash games if you want to do that.
Yeah, that Ja Morant news, him maybe playing today, kind of surprised me. So got me coughing there. He's saying B. Clark is on the come up. Trigger also likes Brandon Clark, Canadian boy. Yeah. What do you think of Clark, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I spent like 2 minutes talking about.
Oh, sorry, I was probably caught. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I do like Clark a lot.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. Okay, let's do Minnesota. Layman out for them. Head Juancho, I think he broke protocol. He's out with the COVID stuff. Okogie and Towns both marked probable, and then we have Ricky Rubio marked as out. Starters, we have Russell, Beasley, Culliver, Okogie, and Towns. Yeah, what do you think of Minnesota today, Chris?
Yeah, so I do like Minnesota here in this spot. We got a lot more interest on them on DraftKings, in my opinion, just because the price tags sort of fit better. But yeah, the main guys here, we have some value with Justin. I think his name is Justin Vanderbilt, Jared Vanderbilt. Sorry, he's a pretty good hustle guy. Maybe I probably have a little less interest in him now that we have Roby for 200 less. But if you want to play Vanderbilt in your cash games as a last piece, I mean, I don't mind that. Definitely more of a DraftKings play. Another value piece here is Kogi. He's 3.6K on DK. If you want to play him as the last piece as well, I don't mind it. He should see at least 25, 27 minutes. So, I mean, on a slate where we're kind of starved for value, as I've said probably 5 times already on the show, I don't mind these guys. And then obviously the spend up here is Karl Anthony Towns. He's 9.9K on DraftKings. I really like that price tag. He's looked good. Doesn't look like the wrist is bothering him at all. So yeah, I do like that in cash games over on DK. He's 9.9 there, and then on Fanduel he's 10.8. So it's probably a little bit too expensive for me. I'd rather pay in the mid range for my center on Fanduel. D-Low in tournaments, don't hate that either. He's kind of been trending upwards, putting up 20 shots a game, good usage rate. Minutes have been trending upwards as well, so don't mind him in tournaments. And then same thing with Malik Beasley. If you want to chase him, he put up 50 last game. Yeah, I'm a big Malik Beasley guy, but his price is up now, so I don't have too much interest in cash games. But I mean, if you want to chase it in tournaments, I don't hate that today.
Yep. Yeah, Thomas just asked D'Lo, good play for cash, and he says, "Low, never mind." We just got some news. Drummond is playing. Jarrett Allen, we got another doubtful from him. I think we have a tweet here saying Jarrett Allen, Torian Prince are doubtful to be available versus the Knicks per Bickerstaff. Like you said, other players involved in the trade still need to clear physical. And yeah, Drummond, good to play. All in one tweet over there. Brandon saying Drummond is a lock. What do you think of that, Chris?
I mean, I can't agree with that. Like, I know he's a FanDuel guy. Chetty is my only interest on FanDuel. If I'm paying up, I probably prefer Towns over Drummond on FanDuel, but he's definitely tournament only.
Yep. Okay, let's go into the next game. Actually, we have a comment from Hasty. That Harden, the Harden physical is going to be fun, he says. Trigger saying hot take.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one too. Good one, Hasty. Okay, next up we have Atlanta against the Jazz over here. We can go over Atlanta first. I don't know if Rajon Rondo is in the chat here today, but Rajon Rondo is in. Okongwu is also in. Clint Capella, questionable. And Danilo Gallinari is still out. Starters, we have Young, Reddish, Hunter, Collins, and Clint Capella. Yeah, what do you think about the Hawks today? And what do you think so far about like Capella and Collins playing together? How do you like that duo there?
So I mean, for the duo, I don't really like it. I don't like the fit between them. I really liked Collins when he was a 5. Now he's playing more of the 4 alongside Capella. I like him when he gets the. I mean, they stagger them, so I like him when he gets the 5 minutes. But as for DFS, like, I don't have too much interest in John Collins here. Pretty tough matchup against Utah. So, yeah, I don't want to go there. My main interest comes from Clint Capella if he's in. On center, I mean, on FanDuel, he's 6.4K at the center position. So if you want to do that in cash games, obviously if he's in, I don't mind that. If he's out, then I'll have a lot of interest in Collins. I probably think that Clint Capella does play, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Trae Young, he's kind of interesting. Like, we're getting a pretty low price tag on him. We usually see him in the upper 9K range. He's 8.8K over on Fanduel today, 8.7 on DK. So, I mean, I really like Trae Young in tournaments. I feel like I say that every day that the Hawks play. Like, this guy always has 60-point upside. He hasn't hit it too often this year. But yeah, I do like that in tournaments. Rondo, as you said, he's available to play. He's been available to play for a few games, and he hasn't played, so I don't know if he's actually going to play today. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but I don't think it really changes too much for the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably it. Probably just Trae Young in tournaments. Clint, if he's in on FanDuel and cash, I don't mind that. And then obviously if he's out, we're gonna jump on a bunch of these guys.
Yeah. Terry in the chat, Terry Douglas is asking thoughts on Quickly.
Yeah, so like I said when we went over that game, this is the super low over-under game. It's at 197, whereas all the other games are around the 225 range. So the Knicks are only implied to score 99 points. Quickly, he had a really good game last time out. He only played 22 minutes, shot 15 times, so that was nice. The game before, he actually played 28 minutes, so I mean, if you think he could get somewhere in that minutes range, I don't mind him in tournaments, but I definitely have no interest in my cash games on either site.
Yeah. Hasty saying he loves this game. IRL. Brandon saying Drummond 70 last time versus the Knicks and Sexton out. Psh. What do you have to say about that, Chris?
Drummond 70 last time versus the Knicks. Yeah, I mean, he's a game log watcher. That's why you get that insight from him with that 70 last time out. I mean, like, you're going to get him at like probably 5% owned, so I definitely don't hate it in tournaments, but I don't want to go there in cash games.
Yeah, maybe if we have Ghostify here, maybe he can start simulating that game for us. He was all over those yesterday for us. We had some good simulations there. 2K. Trigger saying Trae Young, good GPP play. Rondo is saying can't wait for Rondo to be the cover thumbnail boy when Trae is out. Do you think that would happen if Trae was out, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we're just waiting for a day when Trae is out. Rondo's going to be in a smash spot.
Yeah. Thomas is saying The Rock is back. Thomas loves Gobert. I think he's trying to trade him in his season-long fantasy, so he just loves to talk up Gobert. He's calling him Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Rudy Johnson, Rudy Gobert.
Dwayne Gobert.
Yeah, that's what you got with Thomas over here. You want to touch up on that, or should I just go straight to Utah?
Yeah, we could just go into Utah here.
Let's go into Utah. We have this is one of Hasty's favorite players, Joe Ingles. He's out for them. Morgan also out in favors. Probable starters right now. We have Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy The Rock Gobert. Yeah, what do you think of the Jazz today? What do you think of Ingles being out? Do you think Hasty's kind of sad about that? Just what are your thoughts in general about this game and this team here?
So with Ingles being out, obviously we had this last game as well, and we had Clarkson as a core play for us. It really solidifies Clarkson's minutes. Like, he sometimes even finishes the halves. So I do love Clarkson here today. More of a FanDuel play for me, honestly. I mean, like, I don't know if he's not really a lock today just because we have other pieces at shooting guard, but if you want to go there in tournaments or a last piece in cash, I definitely don't mind Jordan Clarkson for 5.2K over on FanDuel. Rudy Gobert, like, I actually like him today. Thomas was talking about him as well. Like, he's 8K on FanDuel. We don't have too many like priority plays at center, so it's kind of like a pick it last spot. So 8K for Gobert, I don't mind that price tag. Obviously a really good matchup here against the Atlanta Hawks. I expect him, like, maybe he'll put up like a 20-20 game with a couple of blocks. That's probably my hot take for the day. I might have him as my GPP play later on once we get into that thing. And then Bojan Bogdanovich, we talked about him earlier on in the show. 4.3K on FanDuel. I don't mind that price tag at all. Obviously, Ingles is out. That helps with Bogdanovich's minutes. We're getting a really good price tag on him. The only thing with him that I don't like is he's super scoring dependent. So yeah, but if his shot is falling, like, he gets this great matchup against the Hawks. They have a They have a 117 implied team total, so I'm good with Bogdanovich today.
Yeah. Some comments. Brandon back on the Drummond talk. He's saying Towns hasn't even broken 52.6 all year. Psh. What do you have to say about that, Chris?
Towns has 52.6. That's oddly specific. I mean, how many games has Towns played? Like 5 games?
Yeah, I think he missed quite a few already with that.
He's only played 4 games. He put up 52.6 against the Spurs, I think 4 days ago, and then put up 51.3 2 days ago against the Grizzlies. I mean, like, if he's playing mid-30s, I think he could put up 60 or 70.
Yeah. Hasty saying Clarkson is the bomb. Yeah, Hasty loves Clarkson. Saying he got a solid 4-year deal from Utah and is finally secure. He's going to ball out now. Trigger saying Solomon Hill is a world-class athlete. I love that take. That got me laughing a bit. I don't know. I don't know what I think. What do you think of Solomon Hill, Chris?
Like, as a player, as DFS?
Yeah,
or
like as an NBA player, as a world-class athlete.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. We actually got some big news here, as Trigger said. Timberwolves Grizzlies has been postponed, so I mean that sort of changes things.
Oh my god.
More so on Draftkings, just because we had a bunch of interest in Timberwolves there. But yeah, we could just exclude them for now from the optimizer, Gary, and then we can just go into the next game.
Do you want me to do that later, or do you want to stall for now while I do that?
Yeah, Thomas says, you see, Gary, Gobert is different. Yeah, Gobert is definitely built different. Yeah, Brandon says, so what I said is true. Yeah, obviously, Drummond is a much better player than Cat today now.
Yeah, it's like he knew that one. Yeah, we need some more stalling out of you, Chris.
Well, what's the next game we're talking about? Do you know that?
Yeah, clip show and the Kings, cover boy, Fox. I'm almost ready. I think I can do that. I just have one more page to exclude. Feel like that could have been done better later on, but that's fine. Live television. Loading it up here. Clippers against the Kings. Over Clippers first, we have Lou Will, Pat Bev, questionable for them. Starters for them, we have Pat Bev, George, Kawhi Leonard, Batum, and Serge Ibaka. What do you think of the Clippers today, Chris?
So the Clippers are actually really interesting today. Specifically, I like them more over on Fanduel. I really like spending up for both Paul George and Kawhi. 8.8K for Paul George, 9.6 for Kawhi. Just like really good price tags for them. They've been playing a ton of minutes. It's one of the best matchups you can get, other than the Timberwolves against the Kings. They play fast. They don't play much defense. So I do like these guys a lot. I like spending up for them in my cash games. I like them in tournaments as well. And then on Draftkings, they're a little bit more. They don't fit as well, so I don't have as much interest in them over there. They're probably tournament only for me. I like Kawhi's price tag of 9.6 on Draftkings better than Paul George's of 9.4. The main guy on Draftkings is Marcus Morris. I like him as a last piece there. He's 3.7K. We get upside if Lou Will or Pat Bev sit. They're both questionable right now, as you said. So, I mean, like, if you want to play Marcus Morris in your cash games as the last piece, I don't mind it. I think it's a decent spot for him. Like, could be a breakout game here. He's been seeing like 20, 25 minutes, so like he should be able to pay off that price tag with that time in this matchup against the Kings.
Yep. Thomas is back on the Gobert talk. Trigger said Gobert is a beta male. Thomas corrects him, saying alpha. What do you think he is, beta or alpha? Alpha dog out there.
Rudy Gobert?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably go with Trigger. I'll probably say beta.
Yeah, I'm with. I think Hasty would agree as well. Let's go over the Kings over here. We have Buddy Buckets probable for them, and Hassan Whiteside questionable. Starters right now we have Fox, Coverboy, Buddy Buckets, Buddy Hield, Barnes, Bagley, and Rashawn Holmes. What do you think of the Kings today, Chris? Any solid plays here today for cash or tournaments that you like?
So, I mean, Fox is obviously on our cover today. His price tag is 7.3K on Fanduel, so I do have a lot of interest in that. He was making a lot of my builds earlier. He's not actually making them anymore. So, I mean, like, I still love him in tournaments. Like, this price tag is super low for him. He obviously has 50-point upside, so he's probably going to be one of my tournament locks, probably on Fanduel, actually. On Draftkings, he's 8.1K, so not as much interest there. But yeah, like the Clippers are pretty tough defensively, so I don't have too much interest in anyone else here for cash games. You can go to Buddy Hield 5.7 on Fanduel as the last piece. Don't mind that. Tyrese Halliburton, he's looked really good. I like him more in tournaments, but if you want to play him in cash games as one of your last pieces, I mean, I guess I don't hate it. But I mean, my main interest here is Fox on Fanduel. Other than that, probably not too much that I really want to spend time on.
Yep. Hasty back on Gobert saying Gobert needs to dunk everything and make more free throws.
I mean, I feel like Wiggins is the same way. Like he's always laying the ball up when he has like a crazy vertical, crazy athletic, super long arms. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to see that sometimes.
Yeah. Josh, what's good? Yeah, what's good, Chris?
What's up?
Trigger saying he could be all NBA if he had the heart and passion. Gobert. Anush back in the chat. What's the best What's the best punt play for tonight? A guy who's going to be low owned and relatively cheap, but could potentially be really good value. You mentioned Drummond before as an interesting one, but obviously the Minnesota game postponed now. Do you think that's going to affect Drummond's ownership?
No, I don't. Just because builds we weren't really spending up at center. But I mean, to answer his question, what's the best punt play for today? A guy that's low owned. I mean, we go over that at the end of the show. We go over a value play of the day, a tournament play of the day. So, I mean, I'll think about it a little more. I like guys like maybe Cole Anthony, Marcus Morris. I don't know. It's we're sort of starved for value on this slate, so it's kind of tough to say, but I kind of like the mid-range more. That's why I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but I'll definitely get something out there at the end of the show.
Yeah, Trigger's saying give Pritchard that body and it's over for the league. Hasty loves that comment there.
Yeah,
big Pritchard fan. Okay, next up, last game, we have the Pelicans against the Lakers. We just got word Reggie Bullock starting. Saw that one. Let's go over this game.
I like that Reggie Bullock news for Randall. Teams have been double teaming him, and like just because they have no shooters, with Reggie Bullock in there, obviously he's a good shooter. So I think that actually bumps up Randall a little bit.
Yep. Okay, let's go over Pelicans. We have Lonzo Ball out for them, Williamson in, and Bledsoe questionable. Starters, we have Bledsoe, Hart, Ingram, Williamson, and Adams. Any interest in the Pelicans, Chris?
So right now, no. We have to wait for the news. Like all this depends on the news. If Bledsoe is in, I don't have interest just because Zion is back. But if Bledsoe is out, we'll have interest in Nickeil Alexander-Walker again. We'll probably have interest in Ingram, Zion. But it's a tough matchup against the Lakers. Obviously, they're really good defensively. Josh Hart will be fine if Bledsoe's out as well. But we'll just have to wait on the news for this one. I don't really want to speculate too much on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Hasty really likes Randall this season. Anush is asking who's Alice. Do you want to touch on that one, Chris?
Who's Alice?
Yeah, Anush is your boy.
Alice in Wonderland?
I'm not sure. Anush, you gotta clarify that one a bit. Lakers side here, we have Anthony Davis in, Dudley, I guess irrelevant, out, Matthews and James questionable, Caldwell Pope probable. Starters, we have Dennis Schroeder, KCP, Davis, James, and Gasol. What do you make of the Lakers today, Chris? James, Davis, are they playing?
So, I mean, Actually, I do want to answer him. Like, so Alice made our thumbnail here. Obviously, it's super nice. She designed it for us, so that's super cool. We've gotten some better results since we changed the thumbnail, so the thumbnail is doing its work. So definitely shout out to Alice for that. I mean, that answers Anusha's question. Talking about the Lakers here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to spend too much time. Like, LeBron is in, most likely. AD is in. When they're both in, we just don't love to target these guys. They're tournament only for me. If you want to play LeBron for 9-7 on Draftkings, I don't mind that, but like, it's not something that I love doing on this slate. I think we can spend up for other people who I like more. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much does it. Like, we don't have too much interest here.
Yeah. Rishon Rondo in the chat says Alice is awesome. Yep, shout out to Alice. Hasty saying NAW, Canada's most slept on player. Aggressive, loves to shoot, finds his spots. Way better pickup and roll than Lonzo.
I gotta call out Hasty here. At the end of the last show, he was asking if NAW was good for DFS. I mean, if he knew Alexander Walker's game, he would know that he's someone that likes to chuck the ball. So he's definitely good for DFS. Hasty, now you know for sure.
Yeah, well, don't be too harsh on Hasty. Like, he's new to the DFS stuff. He loves basketball, longtime basketball fan, but definitely new to DFS. So you gotta ease him in, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving Hasty a tough time here, but I mean, I know he likes his basketball, especially the Canadian boys.
Yeah. Anush is asking some personal questions here in the chat. Yep. Okay, let's go over the core plays of the day. I think that wraps it up for the slate overview. Obviously, these core plays here, it's like the cash core that Chris loves, and I'll repeat it again. Chris is not just like a content creator here on YouTube. He's actually like a mid to high stakes DFS player, so definitely knows his stuff. These are solid cores he gives out. Awesome advice, all for free here. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, do that. That helps us out a lot with people finding it. Aside from hitting subscribe, hit the bell button, hit all as well, so you get notified in your email, and YouTube can like put our content at the top of your feed. The shows every single day, 2.5 hours before main slate. It's like it goes from 1 to 1.5 hours each day. Solid free content, so be sure to do all that. Yeah, let's go over your first core play on Fanduel. Who do you like, Chris?
So my first core play here, I think we'll start at shooting guard with Paul George. I mentioned he has the matchup against the Sacramento Kings here today, so it's a really good matchup. They don't play much defense. Paul George has looked really good this year, kind of looking like his old self from the Thunder days. So, I mean, I do love to see that personally as the Paul George fan, so I like him a lot. Next up, let's go with small forward Chetty Osman, 5.1K. Obviously, Sexton is out, Garland is out. They have a bunch of guys missing, so Chetty Osman is a really good play for me in cash games on FanDuel today. Let's see who else we can go with here. I'll say someone like, let's say Cole Anthony. Let's go to point guard, 4.5K. Just playing that price tag there, you get a pretty decent roll. Definitely exceeds the value for his price tag of 4.5K. So I do like Cole Anthony there. It opens up salary elsewhere. And then I guess maybe we can add SGA. I don't usually like locking two players in the same position as my core locks. So, I mean, SGA is borderline lock. I won't lock him, but I do like him there.
So we're not locking him.
Yeah, so we'll just go with these three guys here today.
All right. Some comments in the YouTube chat. We have hasty follow-up to your criticism on him about the NAW comments there. He's saying he's still learning. It's all love. Trigger saying chrissair DFS. We've got to get Chris a good nickname. I think Hasty likes Cash Money Chris. It seems like something Hasty would love. Cash Money Chris. GPP Garry. He loves those.
I got to go with my handle on Fanduel and Draftkings. Just keep it simple. Just chrissair. Obviously, I'm chrissair DFS on Twitter just because chrissair is taken. But yeah, I mean, just chrissair is good for me for now.
Is chrissair with one S taken? 2S also taken?
Yeah, chrissair with 2S's is some failed airline company. They have like 100 followers. I think it was a budget airline in Europe maybe 10 years ago. I haven't tweeted in 10 years. Might have to find a way to buy that handle.
You got to reach out to Twitter. Maybe they'll do it.
I mean, I've tried a few times. If I'm being honest here,
we got to get the whole cruncher community to rally behind it. That'd be nice if we can get that. We'll do that later on once we get a few more followers here, subscribers. Yeah, 90s ring to it, definitely. Cash money, Chris, 100%.
I like this comment from Brian. chrissair greater than Ryanair. Do you know Ryanair?
Yeah, the airline.
Yeah, like the budget airline. I think chrissair was actually a budget airline as well that just failed. But I mean, yeah, Ryanair is definitely one of the worst airlines. I actually flew in it in Europe. Didn't feel too safe on that flight, if I'm being honest.
Didn't feel safe. Yeah,
we won't be getting any Ryanair sponsorships on the show anytime soon.
You know what, though? You're right about the budget airlines. They definitely don't feel as safe. I'm with you on that. Like, they're a little shaky. Like everything inside the plane rattles. Like, it's definitely budget for like more than one reason. There's definitely some reasons there.
I mean, they probably have some cheaper pilots as well. Like, you never know.
I mean, on top of that, they probably work like long shifts. Like, they don't sleep enough. Like, they probably don't even have like that 20/20 vision requirement there as well. Like, just they give them glasses and they're good to fly. Anusha's saying, Chris, is it true you're only 5'5"?
No, I'm actually 6'3.5".
Yeah. Yeah, Anush loves to phrase his questions kind of as like, is it true that you're only, with like no substantial evidence backing it? But that, that's his thing. I like it. I dig it. Let's jump into the core play, the core lineups here. With these core plays, Chris, what do you see? Which ones do you like here?
Yeah, so let's see here. Let's get this fourth one here. I was saying I like Kobe White a lot. So let's get that one. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is popping in a lot of these. So let's get the eighth one. I actually like the one with Roby. That one's pretty nice for me. I like it more than James Johnson. Yeah, I think these two are my favorite as of now. So let's compare these two.
Yeah, some follow-up on the Ryanair and chrissair budget airlines. Trigger saying the pilots are in training 100%. They're trying to get out of that budget airline like gig that they're in. They want to get into like the major airlines, so I can see that. And there's also cargo on the plane from Trigger. Yeah, let's do these. Let me highlight the differences that I see, and as I do that, you can just get into them, Chris.
Yeah, so I mean, we have Cole Anthony here. Obviously, he was one of our locks. We have Paul George, one of our locks. SGA, I mentioned him as well. He was nearly a lock. I don't like locking two shooting guards, so that's why I didn't, but he's in both of these. We have Chetty Osman, also a lock. Aaron Gordon, I actually probably should have locked him in as well as part of my core. 6.5K. He was getting like point guard duty last game, so that works out really well for him. Yeah, the rest are differences here, so let's go through them.
Before you do that, I think Thomas brought this up. I missed it. Budget airline talk got in the way. Thomas was asking Aaron Gordon as a last piece. I think you kind of touched on that. You said should have put him as a lock, so I think that kind of answers his question there. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably not a lock, but yeah, I do have a lot of interest in Aaron Gordon here for 6.5K. Like, he does everything on the stat sheet, especially in this point guard role. Also upside for steals and blocks, so I do like him a lot. Let's get into this 4v4 though. We got on the first team, we got Kobe White, Kawhi Leonard, Tristan Thompson, and Clint Capella versus the second team, which has Fox, Middleton, Roby, and Gobert. I mean, I like this first team more. If you don't like Tristan Thompson, you can pay 100 less and go to Bogdanovic. That could be interesting. Obviously, we get Kawhi here as well. We're not getting the cover boy De'Aaron Fox, but I don't mind that just because we're getting Kobe White, who's also underpriced here at 6.4K. Clint Capella is honestly the only concern here. He's 6.4K. He's questionable right now, so we don't know. But I mean, I assume that he's going to play. If he's out, then maybe we'll have some flexibility to late swap him. So I actually do like that. Yeah, I do like this first side the most as of now.
Okay, and let's just do one for Brandon. Like, if you were to do a Drummond build, do you like any of the ones you see here with Drummond?
Yeah, I mean, let's just take the first. Let's take a look at the first one, the optimal. Like, it's 1 point higher than the next build as of now. So let's take a look at that one. I don't mind this build at all either. So yeah, we can just compare it here. We get Fox here, who's obviously a solid play. Cole Anthony lock, Paul George lock. We get Marcus Smart, who's 6'2". Yeah, I mean this price tag is fine for Marcus Smart. Obviously Tatum is out. So yeah, I do like that. Chris Middleton, he's fine. 7.4K against the Mavs. We expect the game to probably stay close. I don't expect a blowout here, so I don't mind 7.4 for Chris Middleton. And then obviously we're getting Drummond at center. Yeah, I mean I do like Drummond. Like, what is he, 9'8"? Yeah, against the Knicks, I don't expect him to get into foul trouble. He should, like, there should be a lot of misses for him to get rebounds on. So yeah, I mean, like I probably expect like maybe a 20-20 game from him here. Definitely wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yep. Okay, let's jump into DraftKings over here. Let me just double check my settings. I think we are good to go. Ready for takeoff. Who's your first lock here, Chris?
So first lock is SGA. He's 7.7K on DraftKings, so even cheaper. I think he's going to be chalky. Maybe some people see the game log and see that he had a down game last time out, but obviously we know that that was because of the blowout. So yeah, I like starting my builds with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Next up, let's go with Julius Randle. I mentioned him at the top of the show. 9.1K really stood out for me more on DraftKings than Fanduel today. So yeah, I'd like to lock him in there. Let's go with Isaiah Roby for 3.7K. Al Horford's out.
As we do that, let me just mention two important pieces of news. We have Porzingis is playing today, and then we also have Alec Burks is out for the Knicks.
Yeah, so that's as expected. So nothing really new there. Yeah, but back to this core here. Let's go with Jaylen Brown, 8.9K on DK. We have Thunder value here that's a little easier to fit in, so I definitely don't mind paying 8.9K here for Jaylen Brown. So yeah, these are my four core plays on DraftKings.
Yep. Okay, did I hit build? There we go.
Yeah, I'm just, as we speak, I'm getting rid of the postponed players from the Timberwolves Grizzlies game for all the users.
Yep. Yeah, obviously projections will continue to update after the show, as they always do, leading up to Slate, after Slate as well. So definitely makes your work a lot easier as a DFS player. You can do that part-time DFS gig with full-time DFS results. Love to see that. So
yeah, so I mean, the reason that I have to manually do this is just because we don't have a system to deal with postponements in NBA, just because we never got them before. So that's the only manual thing I have to do. But yeah, we can jump into these builds. Let's get the first one in. I actually really like this first one here. Let's get the LeBron build, the third one. It has Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Let's just compare these two.
Oh yeah, we get Drummond here as well, so Brandon definitely will be happy with this one. I'll highlight the differences that I see here, Chris, but
yeah, so for the same players, we have SGA, Locke, Javonte Green, just pretty good value, 3.2K. We only project him for 16.88, so it's not like we're expecting a bunch of fantasy points from him. Jaylen Brown, obviously a lock. Julius Randle, a lock. Who else here? Roby, obviously a lock, and then Muscala. Horford's out. I don't mind playing Roby and Muscala together in cash games. If I'm playing tournaments, I would definitely make a group where you can only play a maximum of one of them in each lineup. But in cash games, like I said, I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm not sure why you highlighted Javonte Green there. He's in both lineups.
Oh, yeah,
but the 2v2 here is Drummond Hill versus LeBron and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, I kind of like the second side here, like just backloading the lineup to wait for that Bledsoe news. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, like if Bledsoe's in, we wouldn't want to touch Alexander Walker really. So I'm probably still with this. I'm probably with the first team, to be honest, as of now in cash games.
Yep. Hasty saying 2 all day for him. He also says he just can't trust George Hill.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Like, definitely, I don't have any objections to him saying he doesn't trust George Hill.
Yep. Trigger saying cash money. Darius Baisley is playing today. What do you make of that, Chris?
Yeah, so we expected that. If he was out, we would have probably had more interest in Roby, but with him in, like, Roby's still a fine play. He's still going to start alongside Baisley. Maybe it hurts Muscala a little bit, but I mean, I don't think that changes anything really.
Yep. Yeah, if you guys have questions about your construction, about the slate today, about our optimizer, about anything here, let us know. Bring that up. We can go over it now. What else do we have here? Hasty saying fade Diallo if the intern is in. What do you make of that, Chris?
Do we know who the intern is?
No, we need some. I thought maybe you could know that, but I guess no. Hasty, we need some clarification there. Who's the intern? Trigger saying 11 likes until TikTok dance. Yeah, we got that DFS crunch / TikTok promotion here. I think if we get to 30 YouTube likes, you guys are gonna see Chris doing a TikTok dance. He'll make an account at chrissair DFS. I'm guessing he'll do a TikTok dance. He'll go viral. He might quit DFS crunch here. I might have to solo the show, and we'll miss Chris here. He'll be full-time TikTok. Get the likes up. Make sure you do that. Bang that button. Smash the like button. Do all that stuff. Okay. TikTok out of the way. Hopefully we see that. I'd love to see that. That'd be funny. Let's go over our next segment here where we do both Fanduel. I think something just fell. Both Fanduel and Draftkings. We do Chris's favorite play of the day, overall play of the day. We do his value play of the day. We do his fade of the day, and then we do his GPP play of the day. So let's jump right into that. Who's your favorite play of the day on Fanduel, Chris?
So do you want to? We usually go back and forth between sites. Do you want to try just going with Fanduel first and then DraftKings after? Maybe it'll be easier to follow.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Okay, so let's go with Paul George as my lock of the day. He's 8.8K. Yeah, I really like that price tag for him. Love the matchup here. So yeah, Paul George is my guy over on Fanduel, both formats.
Okay, let's do this rapid fire style. I'll do the disclaimer for you. Fade of the day is a player that Chris might like, and he'll definitely like him in cash as well. It's just a guy that he's gonna fade in tournaments only as an option, just to get some leverage on the field, do something a bit different. So who's your fade of the day on Fanduel, Chris?
My fade of the day, I don't know. It's honestly kind of hard today to pick one. Let's go with Kawhi Leonard. Just because we're gonna have Paul George locked in both formats. Maybe a little bit of negative correlation there. Obviously, it's a great matchup for Kawhi, but let's go with the GPP fade for Kawhi.
Okay, sounds good. Who is your value / salary relief play on Fanduel?
I'm between 3 guys really here. I want to say Chetty, but he's 5.1K, so I mean it's not great value. I'll say Chetty, just because I do think he can go 6x here.
Yep.
If you want someone cheaper, Roby, but let's go with Chetty officially.
All right. We also just got the tweet. Roby starting with Horford out, so I think that's as expected. Good to see. Okay, last piece here on FanDuel. Who is your GPP tournament play of the day?
So I love playing Luka and Giannis together in the same lineup. They're obviously playing each other. You get the game stack with them. They do all the damage for both teams, so you'll get different construction with them. So yeah, I like that Luka Giannis stack.
Yeah, player group stack. Obviously, or not obviously, but you can do that here with our optimizer. Sidebar, create a group here, punch in Luka, punch in Giannis. It's that easy. And then just slide this minimum to 2. And then every lineup will have 2 of these guys. Or you can just lock them. Is there a way to do 0 or 2? I guess.
No, I mean, the thing I want to add here is like a conditional rule. So that means that every lineup that has Luka, it'll jam in Giannis, or vice versa, obviously. But I think right now, like, I wouldn't lock either of them. I would just set an exposure. So rather than making a group for them, I would probably set them to like maybe, I don't know, maybe just like build 50 lineups with them. If you're entering 150, build 50 with them locked, and then for the rest of your 100, just go without them.
Yeah, I think the conditional thing that you just mentioned is something we'll be adding and we'll be working on soon. Still a small team over here, so we do have to prioritize certain things, certain bugs, certain fixes. So, but yeah, definitely that's something we'll add quite soon. Definitely a feature that I'll be excited to use in tournaments. Okay, let's do the same thing over on the Draftkings side. Play of the day, overall play of the day, cash tournament. Just your favorite play. Who was it?
So it's SGA, 7.7K here. That price tag really stands out for me. He gets one of the best matchups against the Bulls. They don't play much defense either, much like the Timberwolves, much like the Sacramento Kings. So I like SGA a lot as my lock of the day in both formats on DraftKings today.
Yeah, apparently Cat tested positive for COVID, so I think he's going to have to go 14 days out now. Hate to see it, but I guess it could be good for his recovery. Like maybe that risk can get a few more days off. Maybe he'll come back better, so we'll see. Hate to see that though.
I mean, Cat can't really catch a break this past year.
Yeah, definitely not. Brandon's saying you got to be able to have some lineup with just one or the other. Lol. Don't want both in all 50.
No, I definitely want both. My whole point there is I want the game stack. I want the guys who are gonna provide all the fantasy output. So if it shoots out, if it stays close, it's gonna be Luka and Giannis together in the same lineup.
Yeah, Brandon with the play on words saying I didn't think Cats could get COVID. Funny or not, Chris?
I like that one, yeah.
Okay. Okay, back to DraftKings. Play of the day overall was SGA. Who's your fade of the day here? I'll do the disclosure for you. The fade of the day, again, is definitely, it could be a guy that Chris really loves in cash formats, but just for tournaments, it's to get your lineup, get your construction a little bit different, and use that as leverage in case it doesn't go well. So it's probably a high-owned guy who Chris is going to fade. Who's going to be here?
My fade, we're going to set a player group here. I think if people are just playing optimal teams, they're going to get both Roby and Muscala in teams together. So let's set a player group here with 0 to 1 for both of them. That just means in tournaments we'll only get a maximum of one of the two. I think these guys, they just rotate minutes. They won't see the court together. So that's the main reason why I want to set this group. So that's my fade, even though it's a little different. That player group is my fade of the day.
Okay, I like that one. That's a good one. Brandon, back to that lineup construction there of having both players. He's saying in all 50 exclamation question mark exclamation mark question mark WTF.
Yeah, I mean, if we're playing 150 lineups, that's only 33% of lineups. So I mean, it's not too crazy. Like you can definitely see a scenario where both of those guys do smash the slate. Like they definitely have the ceiling for that. And and you'll have 50 different combinations around them with value pieces. So I don't think it's too crazy.
Yeah. DJ in the YouTube chat's asking, can you change players in Snake Draft on FanDuel? I had Karl Anthony Towns. I don't play Snake Draft. I'm not sure. Do you know, Chris?
Yeah, I think you just have to wait until he's out on FanDuel. Like, you have to wait for them to update his status, and then you can change it before, I think either before the game itself locks or before the slate locks. I think it's before the game locks.
Yeah, and then Trigger's saying, I think Trigger's fade here would be Randall. What do you think of that, Chris?
I don't know. I like Randall a lot. As I said, Bullock is back, so maybe less double teams on Randall. Yeah, I mean, I really like Randall today, so not my favorite fade, really.
Yeah, he's cash money for a reason. Talking about your name, cash money, Chris. 90s ring to it. Maybe it'll stick, maybe not. Let's go back to these plays here. So we did your favorite play of the day. We did your fade here, player group. Who's your salary relief value play of the day on DraftKings?
It's Isaiah Roby. I know we made this group for tournaments, but in cash games and in tournaments as well, like I'm good with fading Muscala completely and then playing Roby as my value piece. Like, I think Roby has a really good game here. Obviously, a really good matchup against the Chicago Bulls. They're not very good against bigs, so I do like Roby a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a lot. I didn't know we were allowed to have like that overlay with these plays, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what the slate gives you. You got to listen to the slate.
That's true. Wise advice here from Chris, mid to high stakes guy. So gotta listen to Chris. Next up, we have your GPP play of the day. Ghostify is in the chat. Sorry, he's late. What he says. Welcome. Yeah, who's your GPP play of the day here on DraftKings, Chris?
Let me just see real quick. So someone we talked about. I always love him in tournaments. Trae Young, 8.7K. I don't expect him to be too highly owned. He obviously gets the 3-point bonus on DraftKings, which helps him. So yeah, I like Trae Young here as my tournament play of the day.
Okay, I like that too. I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any other questions, we can answer them here quickly. If not, we'll be in the Discord. So if you're a member, we'll answer them there. Last bit of housekeeping stuff. Be sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot on YouTube. Helps people find our content. Also, if you enjoyed the content here today and you're not subscribed, be sure to hit subscribe, hit the bell button, hit all so you get notified for all our free content. We do it each and every day, 2.5 hours before main slate. So be sure to do that. It's really solid content. As I just said, like, Chris is a mid to high stakes DFS player. He's not just like a YouTube content creator guy. So definitely a lot of wisdom here, free wisdom. You get your questions asked, answered, all that stuff from Chris. So definitely do that if you have not done that already. Other thing, if you enjoyed seeing the optimizer, our tool, and our projections throughout the show, be sure to check it out at dfscrunch.com. You can get a trial for 3 days, all for free, and then you can get yourself, after that, you can get a weekly or monthly subscription, so no risk at all. You also get access to our Discord community, where you get to chat with our members. You can ask questions after the show, so all throughout there. Lots of value there. We have every single sport, every main sport, FanDuel, DraftKings, so yeah, be sure to do that if you enjoyed the content and you want to try it out for yourself. Members are having a lot of good success lately, so love to see that. We're always adding new features, sharpening our projections, so lots of good stuff here. Rajon Rondo, give yourself some credit, GPP King. I'm okay at it. Yeah, a bit of credit, but definitely not on Chris's level for sure. Chris has all the experience here. He's the grandpa here. Grandpa, DFS grandpa. He's been around since the start, so he's got the wisdom. Yeah, anything you want to add, Chris, before we log off, shut it down for the day?
No, I mean, hopefully we all have a good slate again today. We've been on a bit of a heater here recently at DFS Crunch, so projections have been killing. Hopefully they keep killing. I'm going to build some tournament lineups here for NHL, then obviously spend the next 30 minutes after that building NBA lineups. So yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully everyone else has a good night as well.
Yeah. With that said, thanks for tuning in, guys. Good luck today, and we'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll be in the Discord. So yeah, thanks again.